good morning. I know that you're wide-eyed and bushy-tailed. Monday morning, Hedreich.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. Am I awake?
It's almost the end of the school year. I'm looking forward to having a more regular schedule that I don't have to feel like I'm wrecked on Monday morning.
Yeah, Mondays are sometimes hard. I don't know if you had the Sunday scaries is a whole thing. It's funny. I didn't know it was. It's like you have this beautiful Saturday and then Sunday comes and you have a restful day and then Sunday evening hits and you realize, oh my God, there are a million things that are going to hit me on Monday. And so,
like pollen is hitting me on Monday.
See. So we hope you survived the Sunday scaries, and we're glad that you are here joining us on Hot
Please
Unmuted.
say hello in the comments if you are joining us live. What did you do this weekend? What's on your mind? We have some slides, but I have ADHD, so we'll talk about whatever comes up.
Yeah, and you know what I mean? Education is heavy, and there's so many heavy topics. And not that we won't discuss those, but we do want this to have an element of fun and not to be one of those things that you think, oh, I'm going to go to unmuted, and afterwards I'm going to feel. So we hope you feel uplifted and enlightened at the same time when you leave.
It's right? Like we're having a good time. That's basically stands for Hedreich and Alice. You and me having a good time and seeing what comes out of our mouth, because we could have slides, but who cares? So anyway, what did you do this weekend, Hedreich?
Well, my family is visiting from Switzerland, and my niece is getting married next year. So actually this is really big news. I'm going to share her big news all over to all of our audiences. She started her dress shopping here. She found a wonderful place on Instagram that she wanted to go. It's A&B in Dallas, Texas, and we went, and she thought, this is my first dress shopping experience. And so we had the champagne and the super sofas, and it was just like it was in all the TV shows. And she tried on about 6 dresses, and there were 5 of us there, different ages, different styles, and everybody knew that was the one. So she said yes to the dress, and that's super exciting. So that's what I did.
It's super exciting. All right, now let's relay that back to education, and that we go dress shopping, but as students, do they get to dress shop what they're doing? So I'm big into student choice and student-centered classrooms, and choice boards are a great place to say yes to the dress, right? Odd problems or even problems, the choices don't even have to be good choices. I try to always have at least one choice, whatever the assignment is, and then I'll throw in choose your own adventure, right? Like if you don't like any of these choices, and again, I try to do at least 2, and the third one is what I put out there is the learning objective. Make a poster is not the learning objective. It's what you're trying to learn. I don't care really how you show me that you've learned it, but I want you to show me that you've learned it. So almost no one takes me up on choose your own adventure, but at least throw it out there just in case.
And it's true. I mean, I didn't say call it that, but I would say this is what we're doing. You have, like you said, these are the couple of options. And if you have something else that you want to show me how you can, I am open to it. We'll talk through it, make sure it meets whatever the learning objective is. And I get to say yes. And I was kind of the strict teacher, so it gave me the chance to be the fun teacher, because I got to choose how I'm gonna. Yeah. I just want to know that you know what you were supposed to learn. That's all. I don't really care, and I would love it if we would get to a place in education where we didn't care so much. I even had an administrator say to me once, "But how are you going to be able to judge this? I mean, they're all so different. They're all, that you don't have any." I said, "It doesn't have to look the same. We have a rubric for what they were supposed to learn. I don't care if it looks the same."
Well, in fact, they're different, right? Our kids are different. It should have a level of differentiation. Where is that on the observation list? Are all kids doing the same thing? That's maybe more problematic than the opposite. And I would think that today you'd probably be less likely to run into an administrator who would say that to you.
Yeah,
Um,
unfortunately, that wasn't as far back as you think, but let's go with that. Yeah.
all right, well, I got some slides. You're Hedrick, I'm Alice. Please use the hashtag share hot unmuted, and we have hotunmuted.com, and that will take you to our YouTube playlist where we have all the episodes. This is episode 5, and then I've also been pulling out some shorts from the episodes and throwing them into the playlist as well. Okay, so we are wrapping up Financial Literacy Month. April was Financial Literacy Month, and I had posted onto my socials every day. I had a different financial literacy tip. Now, I did not prep you for this, Hedrick, but you are going to just give a financial literacy tip.
Oh, you know what? I can't give a financial literacy tip, but I'm going to couch it in the middle of a story, and I'm going to say the unpopular thing out loud. If your kids are taking algebra and not learning anything about financial literacy, I know that they have it. It's mandatory in places like Colorado. It is not here. And there's a possibility that they're going to take it off the table in Florida, for example. Algebra, they're taking it out of the classroom. A lot of people are upset about that. But if you are upset about that and not upset about the fact that your kids don't know how credit works, then there's a problem. So I would suggest you go to was it Common Sense Media? I can't remember. But if literally
Media is a
my
good
son asked
one,
me a
and
question.
so is Everfi K-12.
Everfi K-12 is perfect. And literally, my son asked me the other day, hey, Mom, how come my credit dropped? And I sent him, I said, honey, look it up on YouTube, find the Basics 101. He just bought a new car. If you go in and there's a hit on your credit report, your credit will drop. Those are things that kids need to know before they go off to college, because they will be inundated with credit cards. And all of a sudden they will think, oh, yay, free money.
Free
So
money.
please make sure that your kids, especially if they are seniors going off to school next year, or seniors who will be 18, they're going to start getting credit cards in their mail. So please explain that that's not free money. Explain that putting a card in and pulling money out is not the same as picking fruit from a tree. just explain the basics. So really,
all right. So let me essay on that. You should get a credit card, and you should never cancel it. So whatever your first credit card is, keep it forever, because part of your credit score is how long you have credit. So I got my kids, I added them to my credit card as soon as they 14 years old. Not that they're using it, but I just want them to have that longevity of credit. And then we talk about paying it off every month, and you don't have to wait for the bill to come in to pay off your credit card. As soon as you make a charge, treat it like a debit card, send the money. You can usually do that in an app. So paying attention to what your balance is all of the time. I work with Teller, and it is your transactions coming into a spreadsheet. So I just leave that spreadsheet in a tab open all of the time, and I check it every morning, just a few seconds. Are these the things I charge? And it shows me my balances, so I know where I'm at, so I could send that in there. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to have a credit card, but it is a bad thing if you really don't know how it works.
Yeah, no, you definitely want to have a credit card, and preferably one. I mean, the thing about it is that credit cards get a bad rap because of our lack of financial literacy skills. The credit card is not the bad thing. I mean, I am a miles lover, and I love your credit card should be attached to free money back or credit card miles or whatever you like. There are a million different options out there. I like travel. Mine is attached to travel. I use my credit card. Thank you, Points Guy or Nerdy Traveler, whoever it was. I use it I use it like a debit card. The way I used to use my debit card when we switched from cash. I don't use debit cards,
period. And feel free, people, to yell at me. I think it's a bad idea to allow people to pull money out of your checking account directly. So I wanted to go sign up for a gym membership, and well, you have to use a bank account. I'm not giving you access to my bank account. You be tripping. That is not happening. You take a credit card or forget it. Then I'm peace out. I'm not going to use this gym. I do not let people use my direct access to my bank.
No, you should send money to other companies.
My auto payment, my credit card does link to my bank, but even like T-Mobile, my kids have T-Mobile. I pay for it. And they'll give me a discount if I use my checking account instead of my credit card. I'm like, no. I want to see all my charges here. And if I have a problem with you, T-Mobile, I want to be able to dispute it on my credit card. I want to retain that right. So
I send money out of my account. I do not let you pull money. I've never liked that idea either. So yeah, that's another great tip. But not using and also just not using a debit card because you are losing out on free money or free points or free something. If
so
you are
I'm gonna like do some gentle pushback on that. Right?
No way. Wait, let me get through the whole concept.
Okay.
So I use my credit card for all of my daily expenses and I pay it off before it's due. So I never carry a balance. And I also am not an overspender. I don't tend to overspend. So if you don't have that discipline, then, I understand. But if you're at a place where you're disciplined enough, then that's a great way to have some kind of reward for spending. And I absolutely love mine because it keeps me with silver and gold status across.
Okay, that might be good advice for people who have established jobs, right? For young people, I would argue that a low interest rate would be more important than whether or not you're getting quote unquote free money.
That's true. Well, for me, I actually have a low interest rate because I maintain good credit, but I don't care.
A good one. Your interest rate is absolutely the way you're going to get on a car, what you're going to get on a house is absolutely dependent on your credit score ratings. So if you want a low interest rate, make sure you're monitoring your credit.
Yep, and you can ask them to lower your credit rate as well because they'll come in high because it's their business. Their business is not to help you to build your credit. So you can go in and negotiate it. But for this one, actually, I'm going to say this. I am not Alice Keeler and I do the least. So I don't even remember what my balance, my interest rating is because I pay it off before it's due. So they never get my interest.
Yeah. Also, if I just have more than one card, so for some reason I can't pay it off this month, stop charging to that card because it actually backdates all of your interest charges. So, if I pay off my card and then I make new charges, I don't get charged interest as long as I pay it off. As soon as I don't pay it off, you're paying actually interest in arrears. It's really a really hot mess. So as soon as you're like, switch cards at the very least, but really don't overspend is obviously the best and sometimes not most realistic advice. Once in a while you get in a situation there.
But I think that's a good segue as well into just consumerism. A lot of the issues that we have, a lot of the climate issues that we have, a lot of things that we do that to ourselves because we have to have that thing now. And so I think one big thing about Financial Literacy Month, I like there's a trend of young people on social media, across social media, and what they're doing is actually buying secondhand, recycle, reuse. Yeah. And those are great concepts. I was in a mall. I was with a mall with the family yesterday, a mall, with all the big name stores. Yeah. And there was also I don't remember the name of it, but there was a store that had take it, it's yours or something like that, really cute. And it was a secondhand store in the middle of a real mall. And I love that because it's better for the environment. Having a swap party is something I've always done with my Swisters. We used to, before we give it away to the missions and stuff, we bring everything to one house and everybody goes through it because new to you is as much fun as new. And so using those kinds of things so that we consume less and do ask yourself, and if nothing else, ask yourself, do I really need this?
You don't.
Or even, do I really want?
The rules is
2 days. If you still think about it 2 days ago, if you still remember it, then buy it. But a lot of times you've forgotten all about it. So give yourself, 24 hours, 48 hours.
Yep. Yep. If you look at the financial advice, different people have different number of hours, but let it be a day before you buy something. I mean, and the little things add up. How many times do you look at your credit card bill and think there is no way it adds up to that? Every time. Every time you look at your credit card bill, you think there is no way it adds up to that, but they do. It's just that $5 here, that $5 there, just okay. So now
I gave that up. Okay. Buy yourself a good coffee machine, get good milk, and a couple of good coffee mixers and flavors. Okay. My coffee is
where that
better
came from.
than the S place that shall not be named. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yes, make your own coffee. Yes, agreed. Which I did right here.
Whoop, whoop.
Even though it is technically in a Starbucks mug. So the Starbucksies we're getting today. You said algebra. They should be teaching financial literacy and algebra. And since I am an algebra teacher, I can't just let that slide. Of course, and you look at the textbook, and maybe we have kids use the formula to calculate interest rates or loans, or P equals IRT, whatever. We might teach them these formulas, but we're not really teaching the financial literacy side of it. I would also say, if you're teaching algebra, spreadsheets are a part of financial literacy. Knowing how to look at your money, to create a budget, and all of these can all be done using algebra techniques. So that is a great way to bring math in with the financial literacy. I think we should be talking about finances from when they're kindergartners. I mean, we're going to wait 24 hours before we buy something is something we can instill in our kids even when they're really, really young. So that brings up another financial literacy tip. Talk to your kids about money. My parents didn't.
Let's go to that kindergarten thing, because the little kids, stop buying stuff at the cashier. I think at the cash register is the worst place to buy things. There's always markup. So ask your kids. I think it's cute buying kids. They should have some autonomy in buying stuff at the store when you go to the store. But then ask them simply, hey, what do you want when we go to the store? What do you want? And if they say, I want to get Kinder eggs, or whatever those little Swiss children's eggs are called in English. Oh, it's like she disappeared. Okay. That makes me a little nervous, but that's all right. I'm going to keep talking and I'll say goodbye when it's time. At any rate, ask your kids what they want, and then go to the candy section or to the chip section where you can go and buy a pack of something, as opposed to buying one egg or one thing of Reese's Pieces for $3. Teach them also that there's a markup here. And I taught my son that from a very early age and gave him some autonomy in the store. He can choose things, but not there.
All right. So next
topic. No, Alice, just no. This we need
topic?
To save. It's 8:07. So that is not a 3-minute topic.
It's not a 3-minute topic, but Canada is voting this week, or today, I'm not sure, but it's at least this week. And definitely something to think about as we educate our students. I'm teaching them the formulas. Maybe I'm using that as where we use it. The financial formulas is when we teach how to solve for a variable in a formula that's all letters. So we take all the letters that make up how to calculate your mortgage payment or how to interest future value. Like solve for I for whatever reason, but without connecting it to really, what is it? How would I use it? Why would I use it? And so when we think about our content that we're doing with our students, we think we don't want to be political, but if politics and religion does permeate everybody's life. So if we want to be educated, part of that is like really having some honest questions. It's just showing kids how to move variables in a financial formula, helping them to be educated. Or is it just helping them to move variables in a formula? Which honestly is not even really a skill so much if you're not translating that to how do I manipulate this in a spreadsheet. So,
it's definitely why so many people say, I never used algebra, because a lot of people did not. All right, this has been. Do you keep disappearing, going away?
I can switch the layout.
Yeah, no, but usually I see you in the bottom, and I didn't see you in the bottom anymore, and I thought, oh, she's gone.
No, I'm just like letting it focus on so that because later I'm going to drop this episode into Vizard, and it's going to cut it into little clips. And I want to make sure that your face is showing.
I'm giving great face.
You look good.
Oh, I can't believe it's time to get out of here already. Say all the good things,
All right,
Alice.
thanks for joining us today. Please go to unmutED.com. You can see our playlist. I'll be uploading clips there, and we'll see you next Monday. And please let us know what you'd like us to talk about. Have a great day.
Bye, everybody. Have a great week.